What up, y'all? Welcome back to I'm Just Saying Sports. Today, we got to get into this Justin Fields and Chicago Bears situation. Before we do, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your people to holler at me because I'm out here. All right. The Chicago Bears have fumbled this situation with Justin Fields unlike anything I've seen in the NFL. I mean, the way that they handled this was just terrible. And the way they've been handling this has been terrible. You knew you didn't want Justin Fields as soon as you locked up that number one pick. When you locked up that number one pick, you should have been on the phone saying, hey, we got Justin Fields available. We're going to take Caleb Williams. Everybody know you're going to take Caleb Williams. So for you to come out and reportedly say or leak to the press that you're not sure if you want to take Caleb Williams or you want to keep Justin Fields is ridiculous. Everybody knows that you're not going to pass up on Caleb Williams. Justin Fields, in your eyes, hasn't been the guy that you wanted him to be. He hasn't been that franchise quarterback. And that's okay if you feel that way, but make the move and rip the Band-Aid off. All this pussyfooting around that the Chicago Bears are doing has killed the trade value for Justin Fields. So instead of potentially going to a situation where he can at least compete for a starting job, now he's going to probably be relegated to a backup regardless of where he goes. Even if he does stay in Chicago, he'll probably be a backup. And that's not good for Justin Fields or his career. Now, you had teams like the Raiders. They could have used Justin Fields. But guess what? Y'all pussyfooted and they went out and signed Gardner Minshew. So that's out. You had teams like the Denver Broncos. We knew that they was going to get rid of Russell Wilson, but now that's like your only team that you could possibly make a deal with because they do need a quarterback. And they don't have one on their roster, but Sean Payton seems like a dickhead, so he might not even trade for Justin Fields. Who else did you have out there? You had Minnesota Vikings. You could have made that move because it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion that Kirk Cousins was going to go to Atlanta, but for some reason, Minnesota Vikings don't want Justin Fields or don't want to deal with the Chicago Bears. Obviously, they're in the same division, but just say, like, if you don't believe in him, you don't believe that he's going to be able to beat you either. So it didn't make sense there. Another team that he could have gone to, Pittsburgh Steelers, right? You could have got something from the Steelers, right? Maybe like a third or a fourth rounder. Instead, they go and sign Russell Wilson for $1.2 million, $1.12 million or something like that, veteran minimum. So I'm saying all of this to say, Chicago Bears fans, I feel for y'all. I mean, I hope Caleb Williams is the man, but if y'all don't change, if y'all front office don't change the way that they do things, it's gonna be Justin Fields 2.0. All the potential, all the talent in the world, but y'all not putting nothing around him and y'all not handling him correctly. Justin Fields just got some help, and I'm an outsider. I don't know much about the Bears, and I don't really follow them like that. But I just watching it, it's just like, yo, he really didn't have much help. He didn't have a good offensive line. He didn't have any weapons. Y'all just got DJ Moore last year. He didn't have really a defense. Like, the Chicago Bears really wasn't great at anything, and they just been suffering. The Bears have been suffering on the low for a long time. I mean, forget the Jay Cutler and just not having a quarterback, but just in general with talent. I mean, they just been suffering, and they're not great at anything that they do, unfortunately. And then for you to kind of slow roll this Justin Fields trade, now he's going to be a backup, and now you can't get anything for him. I don't know what their asking price was. I don't know what the Bears will offer and will have been offered for Justin Fields, but I just believe that this was fumbled big time. So what's next for the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields? Like I said, I think he'll be a backup. That's kind of word around, I guess, NFL circles, that he'll probably end up having to be a backup because the trade market and the quarterback needy teams, all that's dried up, man, because there are at least 5, maybe 6 quarterbacks in this draft that teams are looking at like, hey, I'm willing to take a flyer on him at this pick. right? You got Caleb Williams, obviously. You got Jaden Daniels, you got Drake May, you got Penix, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy. I mean, you got a slew of quarterbacks that, you know, are going to be available this in the draft. So, and these teams have high enough picks where they can get one of those quarterbacks, because like maybe a Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy, even though he's been moving up to draft boards, on a lot of people's draft boards, he's been moving up. Bo Nix, like I said, Penix, who I've heard, you know, varying degrees of confidence and varying degrees of he's overrated, right? But I'm sure somebody will take a flyer on him. So where does that, again, that leaves Justin Fields as a backup, right? I think Justin Fields, a good spot, and nobody's really talking about it. I think I mentioned it in my text message, my group chat. But then I saw Dan Orlovsky say the same thing. The Cleveland Browns. And I'm not even saying that because I'm a homer. I'm saying it because you want to have backups are important. First and foremost, backups are important in the NFL. We saw that last season. They've been more important since last season than they ever really have been. And that's across the league, not just to a specific team, right? Because we saw Kirk Cousins went down last year. Deshaun Watson went down last year. Aaron Rodgers went down last year. Kyler Murray wasn't available in the beginning of the season. Wasn't available till week 9 or something like that. So backup quarterbacks are important. Trevor Lawrence was injured on and off last year. Anthony Richardson went down early last season. So it was the year of the backup last year. And Justin Fields being a starter and coming in as a backup for the Browns, it makes sense. Now, I know the Browns want Joe Flacco to come back. There's some mutual interest there. However, Joe Flacco doesn't check one box for me. And that's a long-term solution, right? Because if this Deshaun Watson thing don't get off the ground and it doesn't work, which is looking like it's trending in that direction, hopefully he can do a 180 and get on the right track there. Because, I mean, he did have moments last season when he was healthy, but he just really wasn't healthy last season. And that's just part of the game. But hopefully he can stay healthy this year. Hopefully he can become the Deshaun Watson that we all thought he was going to be, but that just hasn't revealed itself. So you want to get a backup, which is why they drafted Dorian Thompson-Robinson, because it's a similar skill set, it's a similar playing style. But guess what? Justin Fields is better than DTR, so I'd rather have Justin Fields in that backup role, because if this Deshaun Watson doesn't pan out, guess what? You got somebody that can come in. You can develop him while he's backing up Deshaun Watson. But if you just want to pull a Denver Broncos and move on from him and just take the cap hit for the last 2 years, guess what? You got a guy in Justin Fields who has been a starter in the league. He understands how to prepare as a starter. He just needs a little bit of development. He needs a little help getting to where he needs to go. You can't tell me that Justin Fields is trash. I'm not going to buy it, because I saw what he was able to do at Ohio State, and I believe that can translate into the NFL. It's just that he had so many different offensive coordinators, different systems in a short time in the NFL with the Chicago Bears. So Cleveland Browns seem to be a lot more stable than they have been in the past. Kevin Stefanski seems like he's going to be there for a while. I mean, coach of the year 2 times in the last 4 or 5 years as a Browns head coach. That's a big deal. Now, he hasn't gotten this extension yet, because I think the Haslam are waiting and seeing what happens with this Deshaun Watson thing, because so much has been invested, and if it fails, he's going to blame them. But at the end of the day, if you have a guy like Justin Fields as the backup with the Cleveland Browns, he can step up and become possibly the franchise quarterback moving forward if Deshaun Watson does not pan out. And you probably don't have to give up that much for him at this point, especially if he's going to be a backup. You're not giving up that much. So I know that the Browns traded a 5th and 6th rounder for Jerry Jeudy, but they still have a 5th and 6th rounder. They had multiple, so they still have it. I would be willing to give up a 5th round pick for Justin Fields to kind of kick the tires. Maybe I guess like a 5th and 6th rounder. I'd be willing to give that up for a backup quarterback because, excuse me, 5th and 6th rounders, man, you're not going to hit on them anyway. I mean, it's not, it's highly unlikely that a 5th and 6th round pick is even going to make the team, let alone be a big contributor to that team. So I kick the tires. If I'm Andrew Berry over the Cleveland Browns, I kick the tires to see if he's available, see if I can get him for the low, and then bring him in, man, and just see what he can do. And I know people might say, oh, well, if Deshaun has a bad game, they're going to be clamoring for Justin Fields. My homeboy actually said that when I threw that out there. But I just look at it like they're going to clamor for whoever, because Deshaun Watson, I think fans are kind of tired of waiting, right? They just want an answer. Is Deshaun Watson it, or is he not? And right now it's leaning towards he's not it. So bringing Fields in, I think that makes the most sense for the Browns, or for Justin Fields. I mean, obviously he's going to be a backup, but as a homer, I want him to choose the Browns, just because, like I said, the stability that seems to be there right now. He has a similar playing style as Deshaun Watson, so you don't really have to change the playbook up, and he could be a long-term solution. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. The Chicago Bears fumbled this. I know it kind of took a left turn, and it ended up being about where I want him to go. But I can't overstate how bad the Chicago Bears handled this whole situation. Justin Fields should have been traded a month ago. Seriously, he should have been traded a month, or agreed to the trade a month ago. There's no reason he should still be a Chicago Bear. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think the Chicago Bears can possibly even keep Justin Fields? What do you think his trade market is? What do you think his value is? Do you think he can be a starter in the league at any point in the future? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your people to holler at me, because I'm out here. Peace.